Alright guys, welcome back to part 4 of our Let's Build a Village series. Now, before I start, just know that I started building and then I realized I wasn't recording. So rather than erase everything and start over, I just started recording from where I was at. Now, if you guys remember from the third episode where we built the church, the mines, and then the little thing, well, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was right here where this tree is. I ended up replacing it because I just didn't like the way that it looked. And like I said in that episode, I was going to replace it with a tree. So that's what we're doing here. And similar to the way we did our windmill, I'm using an hourglass shape for it. Just because I felt like it was really fitting, at least for me. Like a thick base, thinner near the middle, and then thick up where the leaves are. That's what I ended up going with. As you can see here, I added little bits of design here and there. For example, this, it's not really a branch, it's supposed to be more of a root that arches over the actual pathway, which I thought it makes the village that much more interesting in my point of view, because it's not just wherever there's a path, it's just flat and that's it. Now we have like nature trying to take back all that, and I thought it looked super nice that way. I also added way more roots, as you can kind of see here in the corner. You'll see them better here in a minute, but I did end up adding a lot more roots to this design to make it look like the tree had been there for a long time. Now the thing about this build is, as I was building it, I don't know, I was thinking if I should start adding lore to this city. Like, why is the village where it's at, rather than just, you know what, we made a village, this is where it's at. And I feel like the tree is a great way to go. Well, not so much a great way to go, it's a good starting point, because something this massive is rather unique in Minecraft. So, here's the part where you can see I'm adding more roots, basically, kind of just engulfing into the water, different arches. I don't know, I was really happy with just the design of the base that I was doing with all this. But going back to the lore, using basically like some kind of story as to why the village is here, and the tree is the central focus of it. Like, does the tree grant like infinite youth, or I don't know, one of the ideas that I had was just because in Minecraft when you die you respawn at your bed, having this tree essentially be the reason for that. The villagers all live here because when they die they'll respawn at their bed, so long as their bed is still in the village. Kind of going in that direction, but I don't know. Anyway, here I started adding branches because obviously it's a tree, and a tree without branches is basically just a straight up log. So I started adding them in all kinds of directions, different elevations, and all that, just to make it look more natural. Because I don't know, I could have planned this out in a way that it would have looked flatter, basically. But I kind of like going with random branches because I feel like that looks a lot more natural, rather than, you know what, I want a branch exactly right here and I want it to look exactly like this. And when you do it more random, I feel like that's more realistic. Because trees, although you can control the way they grow and you can make them take whatever shape you want, they will try to grow in random directions. Now right here I tried to add another arch like I did in the first one, but I didn't like it because that was super thin. And if I wanted to fit that in there to make it look better, it would have to be a lot thicker. I didn't want to do that. But here's another look at the roots, which again, I was really happy with the way those turned out. And this root right here, again, with a part of the lore, I was thinking that maybe the villagers cut this root. And I don't know if I end up showing this, but there's actually kind of like what would have been at the bottom of the root, the remainder of this, essentially, in a certain area. Which, again, for story purposes, I might be able to throw in the villagers did it for whatever reason. But at this point, I'm trying to decide what kind of leaves to use. I ended up using all of them except spruce leaves. Now, when I say that, I feel like, I don't know if I got the right leaves when I say that, but it's the leaves that kind of look like pine cones. Like the leaves of an evergreen tree are the ones that I ended up not using. I ended up using everything else, and I kind of just sprayed them on to the branches randomly, as you can see. There's really no, alright, I'm going to put this one here and this one there. Again, I just did it randomly, and the mixture of the leaves ends up looking really, really nice on this tree. I don't know, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I mean, just looking at it right there, you can already see how attractive this tree looks, and it's something that I don't really mind looking at for extended periods of time. But I ended up doing that for all the other ones, just randomly placing leaves. If anything looked too symmetrical, I went back and tried to fix it so it didn't look symmetrical, just so nothing looked, what's the word I'm looking for here? Boxy, I guess? Because that's kind of something I was trying to avoid with all this. And that's again why I ended up doing everything just kind of randomly, different textures of leaves, is to make this look a lot more natural. And this is a pattern I kind of followed for all the other branches. Just to give it, make the tree look more lively. But I didn't just stop there. I also ended up adding vines to make it look like, and I don't really know the word, but to make it look like the tree was kind of drooping leaves, kind of having something falling. And I figured it'd make a really nice effect, so I ended up adding vines in a lot of different areas. But for the most part, right here, I was just focused on adding leaves to all the branches in a way that at least I thought looked nice. Since we're almost there, I might as well tell you guys now. The top of this tree was, I don't know, it took me, as I was putting leaves onto all of these branches, I was trying to decide how I wanted to do the top. Because I didn't want it to look just round. Because again, I feel like that's boring. So I ended up doing essentially what I do with the roofs. Or what I should be doing anyway. And that's making a base layer and then randomly adding different points of elevation. And covering those with leaves. That way it looks, again, it doesn't look symmetrical. There's no evenness to it. It all looks kind of random. And overall it makes it look more appealing. And again, that's what I wanted to end up doing with all this, to make it look like the tree had been here, like the tree was naturally growing here and it wasn't artificially made. So again, here's just the part that I was just talking about with the different elevations, and just filling that up with leaves. Now I do end up putting lanterns on this tree. And I didn't add them on the leaves, although I'm feeling like I should probably do that. But I did add them kind of to the trunk to light up the tree a little bit and make it somewhat visible at night. And honestly, it doesn't look bad, but maybe I feel like I really should add them to the branches, like near the edges, or maybe just along the leaves to make it look more lit up. I don't know, I haven't fully decided on that, but I was really happy with the way this turned out. I mean, just here's a look at it in the rain. And personally, I think that just looked amazing. Okay, so here's the thing. Right before we move over to our next one. Having trees that you yourself built ends up looking a lot better than naturally generated trees. Just because you can give them whatever shape you want, you can make them fit whatever theme you want. I don't know if you guys have seen my Let's Play series for Minecraft. But on the island that I'm on, I made tropical trees, palm trees basically, and they were like sloping, arching, all that, custom leaves and everything, just because they don't exist in Minecraft, and doing so myself makes it look a lot better. And just kind of the main thing with fake trees essentially is that you can make them look and fit whatever you want. Like this one ended up being huge and I absolutely loved it. I mean, now that I look at it, this side looks a little naked. But I can fix that in a later episode. Here's a look at the tree at night, just so you guys can see. I mean, again, I should probably add lanterns to the actual branches, but that's kind of what it looks like at night. And I am loving our village. Now, if you remember during the episode where we were building the church, I ended up talking about how I wanted to replace, I believe I did anyway, at least I should have, how I wanted to replace the lighthouse because I was really unhappy with the design. And so I went ahead and keep in mind, all the other designs I've built, I don't pre-design them, so I don't go in and see, okay, yeah, this looks nice, that's what we're gonna do. This one I did, however, but I didn't do the whole thing. I just did one wall because, I don't know, I just wanted it to look nice. But as you can see here, we're making the wood, well, the logs stick out to make it look like it's layered on top of one another. And from there, we're using essentially that to hold all the glowstone that's gonna make up, man, I am forgetting my words, the lighthouse. And again, just adding the logs to stick out to make it look like they're holding each other in place, kind of just overlapping. And it's, I don't know, I was really happy with the way this looks. I mean, if you look at it now, you can already tell that it looks a lot better than what we had there originally, which is what I wanted. Now the roof here, I don't know, these roofs are kind of kicking my butt because I'm not used to making messy style roofs. That's kind of a new thing for me, but since we started doing that in this village, I figured we might as well finish it. Now I know the church didn't have one, but keep in mind that's a church. I don't know why that matters, I just figured it would look a lot nicer with symmetrical roofs and everything else having a messy roof. I don't know, I did like how it turns out. The messy roofs look super nice in my opinion, and they fit the build style. Quite frankly, I feel like it's the kind of build style that works. Now here's a look at it at night because I kind of wanted to test the lighting with just a single layer of glowstone, but I did go back and fill that up. As you can probably tell, at this point the whole simple village idea has been thrown out the window. There is nothing simple about making a custom tree that's gigantic. The windmill wasn't too bad. Using glowstone to build all that, I feel like simple's just out of the question at this point. But anyway, right here I was building essentially windows to this. And again, this one was really simple, but it did allow me to add a lot of detail to it, which I'm not showing for whatever reason. You guys will see it here in a minute, I promise. But as you can see, it's just really simple design. It's just two blocks for the window, and everything else gets filled in with different kinds of cobblestone, mossy cobblestone blocks. So the mossy cobblestone blocks, both their stairs, both their walls, both their slabs, and you can kind of see essentially what I ended up making, which is a slight, kind of like an overhanging roof with, I don't really want to call it a balcony, I really want to call it a shelf, but I don't feel like that's right. Anyway, just right there at the window. So again, it's not much, but compared to what we had before, I feel like this looks insanely better than just straight up cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, a little bit of andesite here and there, using stairs to miss bricks. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like those techniques, but just using them for a solid build looks awful. Now here I'm kind of just replicating the same idea, but on a slightly smaller scale. It wasn't too hard to do, and it's just a matter of adapting what you were doing basically to make it fit. And yeah, I mean, if you can do that, I feel like you're pretty set, because the designs are super easy, and it's a design, like, I designed it this way so I could repeat it on all four sides, which was the main thing for me, is that this design needed to be repeatable. Because I mean, it'll look nice just because repetition can look nice, and it looks super nice in a lot of structures. And a lot of buildings are designed to look like, they basically look exactly the same at every level. And this wasn't really lost on me when I was doing this. I kind of wanted to look somewhat similar. So the design was repeated, and it's super simple. Just the walls, basically outlining the window, using a combination of the stairs and slabs to make the overhanging roof, as well as the little shelf. Now for this part, I felt like I couldn't make a window because it was such a small space. So I kind of made it look like this part of the tower was being engulfed in stone, which is why I kind of did this really simple design. And again, it's not much, and I didn't add any stairs or anything to make it look like broken or worn or anything like that. I did add walls though, down the center line, just to give it a little more texture. Which is weird to say when you remember that I have 3D texture pack, which makes all the textures pop out. But right here, I added more lights to it because I thought it looked nice. But here you can basically see the end result, because everything I do from here on is just adding in the windows and iron barns to the actual, well, the thing that's holding the glowstone. But personally, I love this a lot better than what we had here originally, which is why I'm so happy I went back and just made these minor changes. But all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I believe the next video is going to be super short, maybe like 6 minutes long, and it's a blacksmith. I don't know. It's just short. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, well, I hope to see you guys next time. See you guys.